another thing that is very important that we're going to be looking at today is setting up the legal entity in itself. So very basic stuff. So clicking the organization and administration, organizations, legal entities. And by going here, we can clearly see all kinds of different types of legal entities. By clicking new, we can create a new legal entity. So let's just give it a name. For as an example, test Okan for as an example. And let's give it a number for as an example, F5774 for as an example. And let's give it country as well, which is going to be USA. So the name of the company, Test Okan. This is the company name, ID, whatever you want to call it, which from you're going to get into the legal entity in the system in itself. So by clicking OK, we create the legal entity. And in the memo itself, you can create pretty much anything you want about the company. So for example, Test Okan is a multi-billion-dollar company that provides different types of IT services and solutions. All right. And that's the memo for the company. The language, obviously, we have to choose is going to be the ENUS. All right, we're writing it wrong. ENUS. There we go. And the time zone, you can choose whatever you want for this test purpose. We're just going to be using the coordinated, universal, whatever you want to choose, or we can choose the US, Canada as well. There's no worries about that. Now, obviously down here we have the address. You obviously want to add an address for the company. So by clicking add, you can add another address, or by editing, you can actually edit that specific address. So if we want to just add a few things in here, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4 test, and put a city like Washington, for an example, DC, there it is, and just click OK. And now we have an address that has some detail in it. And once we go down, we can see the contact information in here. We can add some contact information, for example, a mobile phone for the company. And we can put a number in here, let's say 123 123. And we can add different types of things in here, for example, an email address. By changing the type into email address, we can put it in here, for example, test company. Test companies at test.com, and we can put it as primary, both of these things, and you can add all kinds of things. By clicking advanced, you can actually set the purpose for it, whether if it's a home phone number or SMS or whatever. So you can change it from here. Now, these are pretty much all the things that you need to set up a legal entity. You don't really need anything else for now on the test purpose in itself. But obviously, when we go down, we have all kinds of things in here, right? We have registration numbers, we have statutory reporting. We can actually just collapse all by clicking the right button on top of these, or we can expand them as well. So we can open all these things open in itself, but let's collapse so it's easier to see what we have here. So we have, the tax registration, tax information, transportation permissions, number sequences, and stuff like that, which we're going to be going into later on in these videos. But today we have set up a new legal entity with the basic information, with the address and stuff like that. And now if we click save and go back, we can clearly see that we went back into the USMF. So this is not the company that we just created. So by clicking it, we can actually go into the newly created company legal entity. So we click Test Okan, and it will direct us into that specific legal entity. So now when we make any changes in here, for an example, if we would go and create a new vendor, for an example, now we would create that vendor into this specific legal entity, right? So by choosing whatever legal entity you want to choose, you will be doing that specific work for that specific legal entity. Now that was all about today's video. I hope you guys got something out of this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.